There's something truly special about a homemade cake. It's not just about the delicious taste, but it's also about the love and care that goes into every step. The aroma that fills your kitchen as it bakes, the joy of sharing a slice with loved ones. A homemade cake is pure magic. Many people are intimidated by baking, thinking it's too complicated. But let me tell you, baking a cake is easier than you think. With a few simple ingredients and easy-to-follow steps, you can create a masterpiece. In this guide, I'll share my secrets for baking the perfect cake. We'll use colorful, easy-to-find ingredients to make it fun and approachable. Whether you're a baking novice or a seasoned pro, this recipe is sure to impress. So put on your apron, gather your ingredients, and let's embark on this delightful baking adventure together. Get ready to experience the magic of homemade cakes. Before we begin our baking journey, let's gather our essential ingredients. Don't worry, you won't need anything fancy. We'll be using simple, everyday ingredients that you probably already have in your pantry. For this recipe, you'll need all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, unsalted butter, eggs, milk, baking powder, vanilla extract, and your favorite sprinkles. These ingredients work together harmoniously to create a moist, flavorful cake that will tantalize your taste buds. Remember, quality ingredients are key to a delicious cake. Use fresh, high-quality ingredients for the best results. Now that we have our ingredients assembled, let's move on to the next step. Before we mix our ingredients, we need to prepare our oven and baking pan. First, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius. This ensures that your oven is at the right temperature for even baking. While the oven heats up, grease and flour a 9 by 13-inch baking pan. This will prevent your cake from sticking to the pan. You can also line the bottom of the pan with parchment paper for extra insurance. Preparing your pan properly is crucial for a beautiful, evenly baked cake. It prevents sticking and ensures that your cake releases easily from the pan. Now that our oven is preheating and our pan is ready, let's move on to the exciting part, making the batter. Now comes the fun part, making the cake batter. In a large bowl, cream together the softened butter and sugar until light and fluffy. This creates air pockets in the batter, resulting in a lighter, more tender cake. Next, beat in the eggs one at a time, mixing well after each addition. Eggs provide structure and richness to the cake. Now, in a separate bowl, whisk together the flour and baking powder. This ensures that the dry ingredients are evenly distributed throughout the batter. Gradually add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients, mixing until just combined. Be careful not to overmix, as this can develop the gluten in the flour and make your cake tough. Finally, stir in the vanilla extract. Vanilla adds a warm, fragrant note to the cake. Our cake batter is ready for the oven. Pour the batter into the prepared baking pan and spread it evenly. Gently tap the pan on the counter a few times to release any large air bubbles. Carefully place the pan in the preheated oven and bake for 30 to 35 minutes. The cake is done when a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. Baking times may vary depending on your oven, so it's always best to check for doneness early. While the cake bakes, your kitchen will be filled with the irresistible aroma of vanilla and sugar. It's a sensory delight that signals the cake is almost ready. After 30 minutes, it's time to check if our cake is baked to perfection. Insert a toothpick or a cake tester into the center of the cake. If it comes out clean, the cake is done. If the toothpick comes out with batter clinging to it, the cake needs a few more minutes in the oven. Check again in 5-minute intervals until the toothpick comes out clean. Once the cake is done, remove it from the oven and place it on a wire rack to cool. While our cake cools, let's talk about the importance of patience in baking. Allowing the cake to cool completely is crucial for frosting success. If the cake is still warm, the frosting will melt and create a messy, unappetizing finish. As the cake cools, it will continue to firm up, making it easier to frost. Patience is key to achieving a beautifully frosted cake. In the meantime, you can prepare your frosting and gather your decorating supplies. Remember, baking is as much about the process as it is about the end result. Enjoy each step and savor the anticipation of decorating your masterpiece. Now for the most exciting part, frosting. You can use your favorite frosting recipe or store-bought frosting. For this cake, I recommend a classic buttercream frosting. It's easy to make and pipes beautifully. To make buttercream frosting, simply cream together softened butter, powdered sugar, vanilla extract, and a pinch of salt until light and fluffy. You can add a splash of milk if needed to achieve the desired consistency. Divide the frosting into bowls and tint each bowl with a different food coloring. Get creative and use vibrant colors to make your cake extra festive. Now comes the fun part, decorating. Use a piping bag fitted with your favorite tip to create beautiful swirls and designs on your cake. You can also use a spatula to spread the frosting evenly. Sprinkle your favorite sprinkles over the frosted cake for an extra touch of color and crunch. Let your creativity run wild and decorate your cake however you like. Decorating is a wonderful way to personalize your cake and make it your own. Don't be afraid to experiment and have fun with it. Your cake is finally ready to be enjoyed. Slice it into generous portions and serve it with pride. Each bite is a testament to your baking prowess. As you savor the moist, flavorful cake and the sweet, creamy frosting, take a moment to appreciate the joy of baking. Homemade cakes have a way of bringing people together and creating lasting memories. Whether you're celebrating a special occasion or simply indulging in a sweet treat, this cake is sure to impress. Enjoy! Baking a cake is more than just following a recipe. It's about creating something special, something from the heart. It's about the joy of sharing your creation with others and seeing their faces light up with delight. I encourage you to try this recipe and experience the magic of homemade cakes for yourself. Don't be afraid to experiment and add your own personal touch. Baking is a journey, and the most important thing is to have fun along the way. So gather your ingredients, put on your apron, and let's get baking. Remember, every cake tells a story, and this one is yours to create. Happy baking!